Something evil is spreading across New York City. Is it coming to your town next? G'day guys, this is Holy Critics signing in, and I just want to preface this video by saying that all of the individuals that I'm about to talk about and show you are presumed innocent until proven guilty. So with that disclaimer out of the way, I want to talk about something evil that I believe is happening to New York City. Now, I'm sure a lot of the people viewing this video, because I have a large American following, live in New York City, the Big Apple. And I can't for the life of me understand why you would want to live in such a concrete jungle, a frigidly cold place where you're dealing with people that are stacked on top of people in these huge skyscrapers, high-rise apartments, have no relationship with one another, yet live all packed in together. And I personally believe that this is not what God intended, to be living in these megacities, these Babylons, where people can die in their apartment and not be found for 3 or 4 years. And the sickness of living in such places creates people like the one that you're about to see. A man by the name of Jermaine Regur. You might have seen this piece of news pop up in the headlines. The NYC spree stabber. And what I don't understand is how a man who has been described as having no criminal record, no history of mental illness or drug use, can attempt to murder 6 random strangers for no discernible reason. But you're about to see footage of him prowling the streets of Manhattan looking for his next victim to target. So here's the security CCTV footage. There's the 6-inch hunting knife that he used to attack his victims. He allegedly attacked a 61-year-old grandfather with a hunting knife on January 8th, and then went after at least 4 more victims Tuesday and Wednesday before he was nabbed by the cops. I can't believe that. I wouldn't think he would be capable of that, said retired NYPD cop Charisse Broadus, who lives next door to the raised ranch home where Regur grew up. Jermaine was always a very loving young man. When I lost my mother, he came up to me and gave me a big hug. I never thought anything like that of him. I trusted him. He would watch my granddaughter. That same person you see in the footage, the one with the dead eyes, is that person that she's describing there. So where did it all go wrong for Jermaine? And what is the broader picture here? So I decided to investigate this incident a little bit more. Where would you find information about this guy? So I went to his Facebook page. The only message he puts on his page is, live your life your own way. F what all them haters say. Dream high and achieve higher, because you'll never know until you try. Is this what he dreamed of? Is this what he wanted his life to become? What could possibly turn an innocent young boy into a cold and calculating killer?
Jermaine Regur stood before the judge, stared straight ahead, and didn't flinch, charged with multiple counts of assault and attempted murder for what investigators say was a bizarre rampage with a hunting knife that injured up to 6 people in random attacks over 9 days. But the motive is still unclear 48 hours after his arrest.
That will come out through the trial, and that will come out in the investigation that comes over the next several months. Right now, we just allege that it happened. We have video, good evidence to show that these attempted murders were caught, and we look forward to holding him accountable.
Well, there you have it. The DA thinks she's got all the evidence she needs for a slam dunk case. But just look at him. There's nothing there.
Is 27 years old with no known history of mental illness and no criminal record until now. Arrested after an intense manhunt across Queens and Brooklyn that detectives say tracked him directly to his home.
Even lived in a nice family home, not some dingy apartment block.
One of the victims, a 74-year-old man, staggered into a local dry cleaner's after he was stabbed. Another stabbed on board a subway train in Brooklyn.
We have witnesses stating he was pacing the train car prior. He stood over the victim And as the train doors opened up on Flushing Avenue, he plunged the knife into his victim's chest and simply just walked off the train.
All of the victims were expected to recover.
Oh, thank God. There's one silver lining to this story, guys. None of the victims passed away.
Tonight, his defense attorneys insist the charges won't hold up.
We intend to zealously and vigorously defend Jermaine against these baseless charges and hold the Queen's DA's office to its quantum of proof, which is beyond a reasonable doubt.
Baseless charges?
Based on our preliminary investigation, we believe that the people will be unable to sustain these charges at trial.
Well, that's a pretty confident defense lawyer, wouldn't you say? So on one hand, you've got the DA who thinks she's got a rock-solid case, and then you've got a confident defense attorney saying it's completely unfounded. Try to make sense of that for me. Even this Fox reporter is astounded by the case.
Well, the prosecution is really confident in the case that they have. Not only do they have the surveillance video with him on it, they say that they have eyewitnesses identifying him. They say that they found a 6-inch hunter's knife. They say that they found his sweatshirt with human blood stains on it. And get this, they say that he even admitted to being the guy in the surveillance video. Now, police say that
He's pleading not guilty. His defense lawyers made that quite clear. They've got eyewitnesses, they've got video evidence, they've got the hunting knife, the literal knife that was used to attack each victim, and they've got blood all over him. I mean, this is open and shut. But yet, he's saying, yes, that's me on the footage, but I didn't do it. Has he got some dissociative disorder? Like a split personality?
So in court, Rigor just stood there. He had no emotion on his face. His defense attorney, who you just heard from, says that he comes from a strong immigrant family. Both of his parents are medical professionals. He said that Rigor was an honor student in Suffolk County. And of course, as you know, he was working at Woodhull Hospital. No criminal history, no mental health history, but he's going to be staying at Rikers. The judge has ordered that he go under suicide watch, that he get a psychiatric evaluation, and get this, the 27-year-old faces up to 90 years behind bars.
I don't get it, guys. I really don't get it. How could he just throw his life away like that? Look, you can try to put a scientific explanation to it. Maybe he was born a psychopath. Bad seed, you know, that 1% of people out there who just can't help themselves. They have a malevolence in them, and they could try to contain it. Maybe he did so for a number of years, but now it just spills out into a frenzy of violence. But there could also be a spiritual angle to this. Maybe demonic possession is real. I'm not excusing it, because I believe if he had a relationship with God, he would have been protected from all this. But something has come into him. I just can't make sense of it. And while I was investigating this story, I come across a whole bunch of other incidents just like it popping up all over the city. Look at this one. Second stabber busted during manhunt for NYC serial slasher. Is it a copycat? Just listen to this.
Meanwhile, a different man charged tonight with 2 subway stabbings yesterday morning. He's 27-year-old Mark Ford. One victim was stabbed in the shoulder on a D train near Columbus Circle. The other stabbed in the arm on a 2 train in the Bronx. New York cops say both attacks were unprovoked. Transit officers spotted Ford in the subway this morning, chased him, and then arrested him.
Then you've got this story. Girl, 16, slashed in broad daylight attack near NYC subway station. Are they all related to each other? Is there some sort of demonic virus going around that's spreading throughout the city, causing these people to act out in such bizarre and violent ways? Just look at this one.
Learning about 2 more stabbings underground, one in the Bronx, one at Columbus Circle, and now new images of a suspect police hope you can find. The man helped them find, at least, the man they believe shot and killed a beloved school crossing guard on a 3 train in Crown Heights over the weekend.
I could show you more stories, but I think you kind of get my point. I don't know what the hell's going on, and maybe I'm being unfair and just singling out New York City. I'm sure it's happening all across the United States, let alone the world. This epidemic of violence. Look, I'm sure a lot of you probably don't believe in God, but either way, you can't deny the threats that exist out there. I believe the dark principalities in the universe are causing this. They're saturating us to the point now where people are acting out in the open. But I think this evil force has always existed, and now it's becoming more overt than ever because we're in the end times. I would just ask you to pray to God to protect you from the threats out there. Death comes like a thief in the night, and these people attack when you've got your back turned. So you might be the strongest person in the world, and you could still get hit from left field. So please, I encourage you to seek God's protection. And maybe you just have to move out of these big cities. Wherever there's large concentrations of people, you're going to get greater threats. Maybe live in a log cabin in the middle of the forest. But then again, evil's everywhere. And if you've seen my video on skinwalkers, you'll know that they can get you even in remote areas. So, I don't know. I just put my fate in the arms of God. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. Thanks for watching today's video. And this is Holy Critic signing out.